Hey everybody, welcome to the HallowCon Live, episode 2, where we talk about what's going on with HallowCons, talk about the badges, some of our guests, which I haven't got pulled up yet. I forgot that one. That's my bad. How are you doing tonight, Skunk?
I'm doing okay. Had a long 12-hour plus day. I accidentally stuck my hand in a fan blade. But other than
Oh,
that.
well, those are fun days.
But
Uh,
how are you?
I'm doing good. Had a great weekend at Liberty Con. Got some people signed up to come to HallowCon,
Glad
which
to
is
hear that.
always good. Got to meet a couple of the guests. One of the new guests, Kevin Steverson. Stevens. Hold on a minute. You know me. I'm terrible with last names. Steverson.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bunch of stuff going. Has He's also sold something, a story that is in production with with a production company in Hollywood right now. So that's a good thing going for us, and for Kevin, of course.
That was your phone, not mine.
Yeah, I just saw that. Okay. Uh, all right. I was trying to get a hold of one of our guests, and he's just so busy. So we're gonna let him slide. Uh, Already got some people jumping in there. Donna, Carly, Carlene, and Carl Witzman are saying hello to us. And
Hi. Hey
hey,
guys.
uh,
And Dan and
and
Ted.
and Ted. Ted, if you're not busy, love to pull you on tonight, and we're talking about Halacon and all that. So give the people a chance to learn who Ted Davies is if you're interested. And of course, there's Dan Hollifield from our Stupid O'Clock crew, the show that we do on Thursdays and Saturday nights. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and where did it go? There it is. There's the banners. Uh, First and foremost, if you need any information about Halocon, just go to www.hallowcon.com for information about the guests, badge prices, and all that. But we're going to cover all that here tonight. Oh, Ted's out and about, so we'll schedule him in real soon. Uh, don't do that. I hit the wrong button. Something that they've added since you've been running op or not been running ops, if you click your comments or private chat, it pushes them to the side and off screen, which is
Hmm.
something that with that. But the big thing is, how much is a badge to Halacon? Uh, our pre-registration price is $35 on the website until October 1st. I don't have it pulled up there, but if you want to work staff, it's only $20. And a convention doesn't work great without a good staff. So, if you want to remember that, you could, get a con, do a little bit of work at the con, and save a bunch of money. And of course, our room rates. What are the room rates? Our room rates are $75 a night, and they can be reserved by calling the Dalton Econo Lodge, 1507 North Tibbs Road. Phone number is 706 226 9579 for the dates of October 28th through the 22nd. and ask for the HallowCon room block to get your room rate.
28th through the 30th.
Isn't that what I said?
You said 28th through the 22nd.
Oh, okay. Mouth, words, read. Never work. Never a good combination with me.
Understood.
Uh, and the big thing that a lot of people, I don't know, I don't have that kind of money right now to reserve a room. Well, you don't have to pay for your room until you check in. So, they're not going to put a hold on your card, anything. All that is for when you get there to help speed up your check in. When you get there, they'll type in you're here, and that's when your card will get charged for that. So, have you? Oh, and also, there have been some big changes in the ballroom that we hold all our entertainments and stuff. I don't know if you've seen the pictures yet, Skunk, or not.
Well, I was in the room.
Oh yeah,
We went down there for when we had an in-person staff meeting.
yeah,
And I did mention that on the last show. But I coyly mentioned that I really hope they give me the remote.
yeah.
They give me access
Yeah.
to the remote. So,
Well, yeah, and
if people want to know what that means, they can show up to the convention. But
yeah, show up to the convention. Also the what are
but well, I was gonna say the carpet's being replaced.
yeah, the carpet. We will say the carpet's being replaced, but some other stuff has been done that is greatly going to improve that room.
They're doing a lot to update that room, or they're doing a lot to clean that room up.
Yes,
Is the big thing about it. They're doing a lot to clean that room up, and then they're adding to it. There's additional things they're doing on top of what they're already doing, and those bonus things are what's going to really set it apart from other convention spaces. And let me tell you, I've been to a lot of conventions. I've been to a lot of conventions. I think that I still maintain that out of every convention that I've ever been to, out of all of them, we do have one of the nicest con suites because it is a big open area with plenty of seating, and we offer food and drink throughout the day. It is a fantastic environment. You don't really get that at other conventions. Not to say other conventions are bad, obviously. It's just that I don't really see that at other conventions. At the same time, when HallowCon first started, it was being run out of the same hotel as another convention when Dutch Stacy first started the convention, and they had a big conference room area they were using for their con suite. It was this huge conference room area, and it was fantastic. And Dutch made sure this is the area that we're using, this space right here. The same convention, the other convention that was running in that same space, used a hotel room for their con suite off to the side, and it was very small. It was very cramped. It was very tiny, and you couldn't have too many people in there at once, and everybody would just be scattered to the winds. You didn't have a central meeting place. That's one of the things that has always made HallowCon such a great convention. We have a central meeting place for everyone to go, where everyone can feel super comfortable. There's always seating, and there's always something going on in there too. We always have like entertainment going on in that room. So
yeah. And Carl says it's really a good deal for the con price for all that you. It's a really good deal for the con price for all that you get.
and this is one of those things where it's like you could say that about a lot of conventions, especially in Southern fandom, where our conventions are a little bit different from conventions you find in other parts of the country. That being said, a lot of the conventions that again, same thing. A lot of conventions I've been to con suites that have offered free drink and snacks, right? Free drinks and snacks, and or like just refreshments. You know what I mean? And no entertainment, nothing like that. As far as that goes. Whereas we have, not only do we have multiple different kinds of meals all day and at night, two major dinners that we provide with the cookout on Friday night, the feast on Saturday night. We have snacks and everything else in between. And if you're 21 and up, we do have alcohol that is served, which is not a major selling point, but it's a Southern fandom thing. Most places will have some kind of beer or something being served. That's something that we also provide, and on top of all of that, in a comfortable space, this is home cooked meals, good food. That this isn't just we ordered some pizzas sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's for the price tag, you can't beat it.
No.
There might be some other conventions out there that get close to what we've got, but those conventions are also more expensive.
Yes. You'll for what you pay for a badge price and get all the meals included, you'll spend for one meal at many other conventions.
Mhm.
One person.
Yep,
Uh,
for sure.
KT Hunter is also tuned in right now.
I see that.
KT, if you want to jump on, just say yes, and I will shoot you. I'll mail you the email link just as soon as you get there, if you say so. And
Hello,
Crystal
Crystal.
June is also one of our regulars who it, I don't think she's missed a HallowCon in ever. Do you?
I don't think so. Not that I can remember.
Yeah. And then, of course, we got Blake Wilson, who has joined in as a staff member here last few years. Blake says, "Woo, HallowCon rocks my face off," which is so true.
It is true. However, I hope he can keep his face on. I
Yeah,
mean, yes, it is a Halloween convention, but we can't be scaring the little kids.
we can't scare
Um,
them that bad. Okay, Crystal said she missed the first two. She thinks, but my first was 2005. Yeah, then you.
we missed the first few, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and this year's the 20th. So the 20th anniversary. We don't talk about the 10th anniversary. That was special, if you remember. And Skunk, right now, I am sending KT the
Fantastic.
link real quick.
It would be, yeah. I would like to get one of our actual pros on here because I've got to run it out of things to talk about. If I'm being
Yeah,
honest, I could sit here and I could sit here and wax poetic about the convention all day, and I'm going to start repeating myself.
yeah, yeah. Crystal, we don't talk about that. it it was called "The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia."
Yeah, I'd rather not
And,
talk about that
and
night.
KT, we have sent that to you. Oh, all right, but yeah, just as soon as we get KT Hunter in there she is. Hey, Kate.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it
KT.
going? Hey, Skunk.
Oh,
Hey, everybody.
hi. This is KT Hunter. She is one of our resident authors at HallowCon. Um, KT, tell people what the experience of HallowCon is for a pro.
Oh, as an author, this is one of the this is the best con. that I've been to as an author, because Joe takes really good care of you. For one thing, he's always coming around to the table to make sure you've got everything that you need. He feeds you. Did I mention he feeds you? The food is excellent, especially at the feast
Yes.
Saturday night. I've met a lot of other great authors while I'm there, so it's a great chance to network. I get to spend a lot of time with people, talking with them, because it is, as you said earlier, it was a more intimate con. You get to spend more time with individual people. So, Carl, you get to spend more time with each person, talking to them, and especially with the other authors. I met Stephanie Osborne that way, and I just absolutely adore her. So if you get a chance, attend her panel when she usually gives a science lecture about one of the many topics she knows about, whether it's geology or history, something. She's just awesome. So I'm tickled to death that Stephanie Osborne will be back this year. I've met a lot of other authors that I've been able to include in my monthly newsletter this way, and I've remained friends with them. We often, exchange emails and can remain friends with them and network even long after the particular con's over. And we generally see each other if they're a local author. It's kind of a little circuit that we do. So, but this particular convention is one where I've met most of them. And been a lot of fun. You can do your own panel. You can do a reading, question and answer with the readers. We do the Oracle at Delphi panel.
Which is absolutely
game panel.
Is a fun panel too. Just sit in and watch.
Mm-hmm. We've done it for several years now, and it's audience participation. And we get some of the authors and staff and other guests to participate in the panel at the front. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you give me fresh blood with a new author, it's not been with us before.
Yeah. Well, we've got two that we could bring in. That one I know for sure. I talked to him this weekend. His name's Kevin Steverson.
Okay.
He was sort of. Then I showed him the pictures of the new Grillzilla.
Of course.
KT, you have to go walk by and look at Grillzilla.
Okay, I need to go look. You told me you'd made some improvements.
Yes.
So I'd like to see that.
You remember Don?
Mm-hmm.
Don Bucket?
Mm-hmm.
Don walked. I showed him pictures of Grillzilla this weekend, and he goes, "Ooh, that's nice."
Mm-hmm.
And we have figured out Grillzilla predates HallowCon. But she's like 22 or 23 years old.
Oh, wow. A lot of meals have been cooked.
Yes.
On Grillzilla, and a lot of really good meals. So we've enjoyed that. And where you had the cooler last year, having it behind the bar.
Yes.
Where people could walk up and ask. I like that too.
That will remain.
Good.
I got some side eye glances when I mentioned that to some of the Consuite staff, but as you said, go ahead and tell them what didn't happen to you at HallowCon.
I didn't get con crud. I get con crud every year at pretty much every con I go to. Not just HallowCon, but pretty much every con I go to. I always come home with the sniffles. Did not happen this past year, so that was great.
And we were bathing the place in hand sanitizer too, but that was
yeah, everything worked. We had a really good time, and even during the virtual con in 2020, that one worked out really well too. We even pulled off Oracle at Delphi online, which we had never ever done virtually before. We didn't know if it would work without the audience right there. But we had a great group log in through it. and it worked just fine. I had some questions pre-written up just in case anyone didn't really understand what we were doing. It's a lot harder to explain when you're not in the same room, but everybody got it. Everybody had a good time, and we had several people saying, "I can't wait to play this live next year."
Yeah.
And we
And
always have a
actually,
good crowd. So
if people want to see what Oracle of Delphi is, I'm glad you mentioned it. It is still available on the HallowCon
it's still
live.
there.
Yeah, your panels are still there.
Okay, good. And
So
TD's storytelling.
yes, the
Mhm.
except for the overnight programming, all the live programming is still there.
Oh, good. It turned out really well. I'm glad we were able to go forward with a convention
Of
at
some
that
sort.
time. Yeah, I think it was something we really needed
Yeah.
at the time. Everyone was really feeling isolated and lonely, and by the time the live con came around, we were just so happy just to see each other.
And
You
the virtual con is where you created the new character T Turtle.
You're never gonna let me live down the tea circle.
Hey, if you notice, I didn't post that.
Well, for those of you who are not aware of where tea turtles came from, I am very, very prone to spoonerisms, where you kind of reverse the first syllables of certain words, and was trying to say sea turtles. And I have to stop and think. So it doesn't come out tea turtles. I even drew a tea turtle once. It was a little turtle with a upside down teacup.
As you
That's your tea turtle.
now, to explain to some of the authors that are in there, if by chance you get hungry,
Mm-hmm.
how far are you from food?
About 10 steps.
Yeah.
Not far at all. We are right there next to the con suite. In fact, I have to have a little self-discipline to not go over and munch more than I need to because it's right there.
And
But you will not be hungry. If you're hungry, it's your fault.
our opening ceremonies are quite the
Mm-hmm.
spectacle sometimes.
Oh, yes. They're always a good show. And not just because, you're introducing the authors.
Yeah, that's something that I don't know if other uh, conventions introduce authors that way in their opening ceremonies, but I think it's great to bring you guys up
Mm-hmm.
into the opening ceremonies
Mm-hmm.
to where everybody can see you, know who you are as the show starts.
Oh, yeah. And it's a good icebreaker, especially if we've got new authors
Yeah.
with us that haven't been in on it before.
Yeah.
It's a good way to bring them into the crowd because it really is. It's a family reunion in many, many ways. So most of the people, when I get up there and I say hi there, everybody, I'm not even nervous.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to people I know, just a whole bunch of them at once. But it's a good icebreaker. It's a good way to get everyone, ready for the weekend.
Yeah. It's just something fun.
Yeah, it's great, and we've been coming every year since TD put out his first book, because he published his first. I think it was in either 2012, 2013
Okay.
that we started.
So you missed the great convention.
Yes. we came in right after that, although we've heard stories.
Which is another reason that makes HallowCon so great. Even admit a month with adversity, we still
Mm-hmm.
soldiered on and had a great convention.
Oh yeah. What? Look, a pandemic couldn't stop us. So we are determined to have a good time.
And we haven't raised our prices because of pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Many conventions have.
Yeah. Well, as long as we can still get together, it's going to be great.
Oh yeah.
So
And do you remember the wristband thing that we
yes,
had?
yes.
What was your opinion of that?
I think people paid a lot of attention to it like the first night.
Yeah.
But as they started easing into it, they became more comfortable with each other. So I think a lot of the people who had originally been yellow were more going green.
Yeah.
So, but it again, just like the intro during opening ceremonies, it's a good icebreaker, especially if someone is kind of new to the convention and they're not quite sure yet. That's a good way to avoid some awkward moments.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
just to kind of say it. But I think over the weekend, people may find themselves moving more towards green.
Yeah.
But it's a
But
good way to kick things off.
but we did notice a lot of people would, show that red band, and people respected that.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the socially awkward people,
Mm-hmm,
they really loved it
mm-hmm.
because uh, on the last show, Skunk was talking about some of them were sitting over in the corner reading the book. You can see that red wristband.
Mm-hmm. Leave me alone. I'm reading.
Yeah, that's good. On the last show, I pointed out, I was like, we had originally come up with the idea for the purpose of like informing of social distancing, letting people know like this person doesn't wants to social distance, this person doesn't want any contact at all, this person is fine with that contact, and we're we're very, very, very strongly, in fact, I think we had already agreed to bring the wristbands back because we discovered people were more using them for comfortability levels at a convention. Honestly, that is something I've rarely seen at conventions. I have seen it, never at a regular multi-fandom convention. Never seen it at any Southern style fandom convention like we have with HallowCon. I've only seen it at furry conventions, but I had, and even then it was a very like they were handing out basically were like buttons you would put on your lanyard that just said hug, no hug, and that was
right.
it.
It avoids a lot of awkward explanations.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain the red.
Yeah.
People just see it and okay, that's where you are. That's fine. We will meet you, or in this case, not meet you, wherever you are, because we're all at different spots of comfort, and not just about the pandemic. I mean, we were all already at different levels of comfort with being social.
Yeah.
And in my particular case, I'm not always at the same level of social myself. Some days I will be very, very outgoing. And then there's some days I don't want to talk to anybody. I was social yesterday. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
And sometimes conventions can be difficult for me because I have to be on for long stretches of time over 3 days, So usually by Sunday I'm exhausted. But I can sometimes have different levels of wanting to socialize, but being an author and I'm running a table and I'm trying to introduce people to my work and make sales, sometimes I just have to push through that. And that can be very tough. It's very energy draining. So I can understand other people feeling that way and maybe not consistently feeling that way. Some days I'm more of a red, some days I'm more of a green. And it's nice to have that marker that just tells people, hey, I'm not ready to talk to anybody right now, or hey, go for it, give me a hug.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think it's a good idea to have that.
yeah, we have agreed that it's coming back. I mean,
Okay.
it. I mean, not for the pandemic, but for people's comfort.
Hmm.
I don't even know if I had one home. I can't even remember.
You just hug everybody anyway. You're always green.
Yeah,
And I guess you could say, you can make it an additional caveat if someone's not wearing a bracelet, they prefer not to. We're going to assume it's green, or we're going to assume it's yellow.
yeah.
Make some sort of assumption if you choose not to wear one, and maybe not everyone wants to, or they lose it over the course of the convention.
Well, not as many reds went out as yellows and greens,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
we respected those that chose it, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to go with it again because it. I could see the comfort level a lot better
Mm-hmm.
amongst everybody.
Yeah, that's really
So,
good. I think over the past few years we've seen a whole lot of little changes like this
yeah,
that have made a great con even better.
yeah. And
Um,
you also do a trivia night.
yes, I do. I do a trivia game. I do it to it's roughly an hour, usually Saturday afternoon. It varies.
It varies on whether I need night programming or not.
Correct. So it kind of moves around. I try to make the questions fit in with the theme for
Well,
the
your
year.
theme's going to be fun this year because the theme is baby dolls.
I know, and I'm sitting here thinking about. I'm going to probably have a lot of questions about Chucky.
Okay.
You know, uh, horror movies past the '80s are just not my thing.
Yeah.
I love the Universal monster movies, Freddy, Jason. Those were kind of my level. I never really got into the Chucky movies, but I'm thinking that's probably a good jumping off point for
Well,
those.
one of the creepiest doll uh, episodes of Twilight Zone was I'm Talkie Tina, and
Yeah.
KT, you brought that up, and I do want to mention, they recently, I mean, like last year,
Mhm.
they made a TV show out of Chucky.
Really?
Yes,
Oh my goodness!
and
Where was it on?
it was on Sci-Fi and USA. It was
Okay.
actually airing concurrently. I believe that they had a network television version on USA and an uncensored version on Sci-Fi, or the other way around. But when you watched it on stream and on demand, it was all uncensored, no matter where you watched it.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I believe because it aired at the same exact time. Like it would air, it came on at it's like 9 or 10 o'clock,
Oh,
and
okay.
it came on USA and Sci-Fi simultaneously.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, if I watch horror movies at all, I have to watch them in the morning. I can't watch them close to bedtime. Nope, 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 nope.
But what's really cool about the series is that it is a direct continuation from the films. And normally when they do a TV series based off of a movie, they try to make it so that, this can happen outside of that timeline so that we can kind of put it wherever.
It's an
They did it
alternate universe, yeah.
Yeah, with Freddy's Nightmares, they did that. With
Mhm.
Friday the 13th, the series, they did that. There's a lot of the television show based off of a film where they would do that. It would this is kind of almost like a spin-off or an offshoot of the initial storyline. No, this is a direct continuation from the films, including the principal cast. So Jennifer Tilly comes back, Brad Dourif comes back, like all of the
Brad Dwarf.
mhm.
I love him.
Brad Dourif and the Alex. I cannot remember his last name to save my life right now, but the guy who plays Andy, Alex Vincent, the guy who plays Andy in the first couple of Child's Play films, and he's in that, and he plays Andy again. And they've got this wonderful. The show is centered around high school students for the first season. So it's a very wonderful cast of people. It feels like a modern day Stranger Things,
Oh,
where
excellent.
instead of the upside down, it's a killer doll.
Well,
Um,
I may need to pick your brain for the trivia game then to make it
Of
fun.
course, I would always love to help you out
Yeah.
because
No, that.
I never get to participate in. Well, I never get to officially participate in the game, and
Oh.
it's probably a good thing though, because
Oh, we'd love
I
to
don't.
have you.
Oh no, Katie, that's not fair. It's not fair to
Oh.
everyone else. Because do you remember last year where you were doing I was walking through it. Of course, I was juggling 8 million things trying to
Uh-huh.
handle. I have security concerns. I have entertainment concerns. I have consuite concerns. I have
Mm-hmm.
I'm Joe Dog's right hand. I can't
Mm-hmm.
find Chris. No, I'm not. If Chris is the right hand man, I'm the left hand man.
Okay.
Right, that was Joe Dog's left hand man of like go take care of this, and I can't find Chris, and Chris went to the store, so you have to go do this other thing for me, and so
Yeah.
he was yelling at me and pointing me in different directions and stuff, not in
Now,
a mean way,
yeah,
you know.
it was skunk fire.
Yeah, exactly. But while you were doing the trivia, when I walked into the concert to take care of something, and I look up, and as soon as I looked up, I went, I know this one. Dude, I know this one.
Yeah. Oh, it's so
I
hard to
definitely
get
know
people
this
not
one.
to shout the answers out.
I was very careful to not do that. Very careful
Yeah.
to not do that.
Yeah.
I do know you asked. There was twice where I busted out laughing, because of the fact that I love the way that you'd written the question
No.
to give just enough of a hint that if you're not a regular everyday horror fan, you've at least heard of something along these lines,
Yeah.
right?
I
One
try
of
to
them was
give people a little help.
yeah, one
Yeah.
of them was the question you asked about Nightmare on Elm Street. I picked that one up instantly. It started laughing because I'm a huge Freddy fan. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the other one I believe was a Final Destination or Event Horizon or something like that.
Oh, it could have been either one of that. I think I had both of them in there.
Yeah, I probably Final Destination because another favorite movie series of mine, and
Yeah.
yeah, so
Mm.
that one made me laugh too. But it was like I recently was in a call, and I don't know why they decided to test me. It's really weird, like my knowledge of horror movie locations. They would name places off, and I got every single one of them right.
What am I not
And what
surprised?
was really funny was the guy said, Cabin in the Woods. And I was like, well, there was a film called Cabin in the Woods. There have been plenty of horror movies set in Cabin in the Woods, but you're thinking of Evil Dead. And he was like,
That was more.
how did you do that? And I'm like, because it's my favorite genre of film.
Yeah, that one was in Morristown, near where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what they did. What they did that one. So, but yeah, at any point, if you ever want to play the trivia game, you are. And
Katie,
let me describe it.
I would much rather help you with the questions because, like I said, if every year that I've gone to the convention, one of two things has happened whenever you've been doing the trivia,
Mhm.
right? And the first one is and this is back when I used to drink, when I had a drinking problem. Cue the airplane joke.
Oh yeah.
But back when I did have a drinking problem, I was usually too hungover, and still asleep from the night before, or I was busy doing something. I'd never get to sit up. But if I did, it would just be totally unfair. We dominate.
You are a horror knowledge powerhouse.
I am.
Yeah.
Now I don't know everything. Yeah, I'm well versed in pretty much 70s onward, a little bit of the 60s, some of the 50s, but when you get back to like the Universal era, I know the Universal era. I want to be very clear. I know the big stuff. I don't know everything. I know. Hammer films are. I know more about Hammer films than I know about the Universal films.
Yeah, my younger brother knows a lot about those. When I was a kid, he collected all the Phantasm, Phantasmagoria magazines, all the horror magazines. So I would read those even if I hadn't seen the movie. I'd read an article about it. And I was a teenager in the 80s. So, Freddy, Jason, those were the things back then. Now the trivia game itself is 20 questions. And I try to limit it to 20 because it is timed, and I want to get the whole thing done in an hour. And we do 60 seconds per question, and they're all up in a PowerPoint presentation. Mm-hmm. And it's a mixture of items from horror, science fiction, fantasy that have some relationship to the theme of the convention. And I draw from books, film, songs, movies, TV. I try to get the whole genre, and I try to get some that most people who are even slightly nerdy will get, and then I have some that are very obscure that only the true hardcore fan would probably know. But I'm pretty sure that I've never had anybody not get at least a few of the questions. We do it quiz style. I hand out sheets of paper numbered 1 to 20. You put your name at the top. As I go through the questions, you write down what you think the answer is. If I can tell what you said, spelling doesn't necessarily count unless there's a tie, and I can use that as a tiebreaker. But we go through 20 questions. I read them out loud 2 or 3 times, go on to the next question. We turn them all in. I grade them like a quiz, and then we go through the answers. I announce the winner. But we always do go through the answers, so you'll know
what the answer,
what it was. But one of the things I try to do is that some of the questions are related. You might have 2 or 3 hitting the same film. So if you were able to answer one question or you didn't know the earlier question's answer, but you hear this, oh, wait a minute, that might have been this one up here I didn't know as well. So I try to get a good mix at least, even if you don't win, you have fun. And that's the point. And I don't let people use phones either. You have to use your head.
Absolutely.
No looking it up.
I used to work for a national trivia company that mm-hmm. ran leagues. And when I did that, anyway, it was conservatory and. Anyway, it's bothering me now because I'm a big Clue fan, and I'm like, it's conservatory, not observatory. What are you doing? Totally threw me off, Donna. But no, I was gonna say we were very much sticklers, no phones. We the way that we did tiebreakers was great too, because what if you ever had to have a tiebreaker, and if you needed to absolutely have one. The company, they had the standard, which is something that I always thought was brilliant, mm-hmm. was do a number guessing game. Oh. Whoever gets closest to the number is right. So, but you do it based off of a question. So, one of the ones that I've seen is was something that was like exactly how many calories are in a McDonald's Big Mac value meal. Right?
Yeah.
Like the standard McDonald's, value mm-hmm. meal, including the Coca-Cola, right? And because it's on their website, I mean, it's verifiable information.
Yeah.
And and so then people would write, the team the teams that had tied would write down their number and they would turn it in, and whoever was the closest. So, and of course, you could also do the the whole Price is Right thing with that too.
Yeah.
Is like if you think like the other person's gonna guess something absolutely ridiculous, you could just be 1 million, whatever. You could just put a 1, tend to get you're closer, or a 0 mm-hmm. or something. One of my favorite ones that for like a tiebreaker that I've ever done was to have people guess how old something is.
Okay.
By by minutes, because you could tell how so old, you figure out how old something is by years, right? Mm-hmm. Because like for example, HallowCon's coming up on its 20th anniversary. There's mm-hmm. 20 years we've been doing this convention. But then you how long has it been in hours? Well, now we have to know when the convention first started, when the convention, when it would be like the exact moment, like do we officially count it as opening at 3 p.m. on this specific date, and then we have to count how many days that is, and it includes leap years, and it
And
gets
time
complicated.
changes.
Yeah, time changes. You have to go back and forth with that. Try to figure all that stuff out. And
Because
then
we were
and you,
49 hours during the virtual con because it was a time change right in the middle of it.
Oh, and
So,
one.
I'll keep that in mind for tiebreakers. Thanks.
no problem. I was gonna say if you want a good one, that I just thought of while we were discussing this, and it's horror movie related. There is a website, or not a website, a YouTube channel. It's perfect for this, called Dead Meat. They do comprehensive like synopsises of horror films, but specifically what they're looking at is the amount of deaths in the film.
Oh,
The videos are called The Kill Count, and they've covered some movies, and you could go through there. I believe right now, if I remember correctly, the current record holder for the most amount of kills in a film is Zombieland Double Tap.
oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll have to take a look at that. Thank you.
So that would be a good one. Is you could ask how many people died in, said random movie.
Okay.
And you because especially if you look at films like the first Final Destination, or especially any zombie movie, or The Purge or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Those films are going to have really high body counts.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love Final Destination. That was one of
my
the
favorite
the
film
more
series.
recent ones that I've liked.
They haven't had one in a while, and it makes me sad. I want them to come back out with another one, but I get it. I get it, New Line. I understand. When New Line Warner is working on that DCE or DCU, so
yeah, good. Dan asks if I were at a couple of sadly, I've never made it to an Acrocon. I would love to, since I write steampunk. But sadly, I've not made it to them, and I are they still having them?
No, Necrocon retired. Dan, what year was that? I don't remember. I never got to go myself.
2020. Yeah. 2020 was the last Anacrocon.
Really?
Yeah, because it's early in the year.
Just last year?
If it was 2020,
I think 2 years ago.
I think they were usually in February, so they might have been before lockdown started.
Just right before it.
Right before, because I remember when they one of the first cons I heard about getting canceled 2020 was Emerald City in Seattle, because it was all the West Coast cons kind of fell first.
2019. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I was just thinking about something silly.
Oh, and KT,
canceled.
Something to keep you and TD to think of.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing that table read again.
Yes. Okay.
Because
table read.
Because of the punchline fits right into the thing.
Yes. Did you want us to participate?
Very possibly. I'm gonna get I'm gonna try to get all the guests, and of course Lewis is gonna be there, so he will be the narrator.
Okay.
So we're doing that again, are we?
Yes.
Planning on doing that again.
Planning on doing that again.
Just let us know.
See if we could make it actually work this time.
Well, it worked pretty good up until
there were technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had to change actors midstream.
And then there was also
network lag time.
And there was also the fact that there was somebody or you had asked to be a part of that cast, and then the last second you changed your mind and had somebody else. Somebody was really disappointed about that, because that's me and something that me and Joe have in common. That is a favorite.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, let us know.
All right.
We're up for just about anything.
because
that was fun.
Yeah, it looks like fun.
We always that's the thing. We always do fun. We always want to encourage fun with the convention. When Joe started the snowball fights and the pumpkin chunking and all that stuff, That blew up instantly because that was something we could all. You didn't have to have skill. You didn't have to be. In fact, the less skilled you were, the fun it what more fun it was. you
Yeah.
know,
And
it
it
was.
starts off. It's seriously the snowball pumpkin chunking game. Starts off very lighthearted. When it gets down to the final round, I mean, these people are serious.
Yes, they take their pumpkin chunking very seriously.
And Crystal June says, even I won.
Yeah. And well, even in Oracle at Delphi, if someone struggles to come up with the next word on the panel, that's what makes it funny.
And Facebook.
When things go wrong, the happy path is not what makes Oracle funny. It's when things mess up. Like somebody made me laugh so hard because I'm the scribe. I'm one who writes down the sentence as the panel's saying it, and I do a read back. And of course, I always ham it up. But somebody made some comment. Donna Curling. She loves the Oracle. Thank you.
Yes.
I fell out of my chair. I mean, literally, I was in the floor, and people were going, "You broke the scribe." But it entertained everybody. Everyone had fun. And that's the most important thing, not winning and not coming up with the greatest sentence of all time, but being silly.
Yeah.
Having fun, letting go, telling the real world to go shove it for a little while and enjoy what we all have in common. Our nerdiness.
I would love to sit up on the panel for Oracle at Delphi.
You are welcome to. We would love to have you.
Well, you know what's going to happen? I get sit down. I get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Joe!
Well, look, people have come in and sat in for a minute or two and then had to go. We're very flexible. So if you just want to come in and sit in for a round or two, that's fine. I'm sure we can pull somebody else out of the audience to take your seat. If we have at least 3 people, we're good. So if you come in and you're like number 4 or number 5, cool. Come and go as you need to. We're very, very flexible. And I'm really glad we've been able to continue to do it year after year. We did it one year just because we were trying to think of something that to do for our panels. And people just really took to it. And it's not even our original game. We learned about it at LibertyCon. The year before we started doing it. And Todd McCaffrey, who's Anne McCaffrey's son, was the moderator. And he needed a scribe. Because we went and we'd never heard of it before. We were just looking to get out of the July heat. Ran into that panel. And he described what you do with the panel, and someone needs to scribe it down. And he said, "Can someone please do this for me?" And I said, "Oh, I'll do it. I'm game." And I've got kind of a personal shorthand that nobody else can read, but it allows me to write really, really fast. So I was able to keep up with them. So I just scribed the whole game. And of course, Todd McCaffrey now thinks I'm bat guano crazy because on the readbacks, I decided I'm just going to be silly.
Yeah.
When I do this, I'm not going to do this straight face. So, I read it back as Captain Kirk, read it back as Betty Boop. And we just had a lot of fun with it. And we decided, that's a great convention game. Let's try it. And it's kind of become a tradition as well as the trivia game, which I really enjoy putting together. Yeah. So
we are in our final 5 minutes.
Already, this did not take long.
I talk too much.
Yeah, we only do this show for an hour.
Okay.
It's one of those things, though. It's we love having you on. We love listening to your stories. It's great.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. HallowCon is very important to us.
And don't leave because I got to talk to you about some stuff just afterwards.
Sure.
First thing is we have our limited edition HallowCon 2022 t-shirts. They're available at our merch store. And this isn't my price. I don't set the price of the shirts. We go through a third-party vendor, and they have gone up on everything. It is halocon-shop.creator-spring.com listing buy 2022 shirt. Screen capture that and get you a t-shirt. We love to see the t-shirts that show up. Of course, our website is hallocon.com, www.hallocon.com. And the big questions is, how much is a badge? Pre-registration is $35 on the website until October 1st. And then at October 31st, they go up to $65. What are the room rates? The room rates are $75 a night. We tried to hold them down again this year. We just couldn't do it. Hotels got to make up some money. And you can make your reservations by calling the Dalton Econo Lodge at 1507 North Tibbs Road, Dalton, Georgia. 706 226 9579. October 28th through the 30th is the date. And ask for the HallowCon room block. And most important, you do not have to pay for the room until you check in. Some people are thinking that when you reserve a room, you got to pay for it then. No, you pay for it when you check in. But that's, the big housekeeping. We got a couple more comments in here. Facebook user says, and Dan Hollifield says, we need to invite you to Stupid O'Clock. Yes, we do.
Oh, yes. We were on one of the original Stupid O'Clocks.
I was going to say, we had you on Stupid O'Clock. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We enjoyed it. So, yeah, just let us know. We'll set up the backdrop and I'll bring TD in, maybe bring one of the cats on.
Okay, that works. But we got a short outro, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but we can go ahead, plug your books and your business real quick.
Go for it.
You got 2 minutes.
Okay, great. We own a little business called Twin Cedars Ranch. We both write books. I'm a little bit sci-fi. He's a little bit fantasy. So we're kind of like the Osmonds. That way. TD also is a leather worker. So he makes all kinds of leather products. A lot of them are for gaming. Dice trays, dice bags, things of that nature. And we have a really nice new Boss laser. So we do a lot of laser engraving, things of that nature. And we just made for Joe the little square holster.
Yes.
For his square reader.
Logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
I got some feedback on that. I'll talk to y'all about.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Our website is twincedersranch.com, and on there you can order our books. You can order the print paperback signed, or you can order the ebooks as well. Also, all of our leather products, and a lot of them are available for personalization. My series is called The Nemo Paradox. The first book is called The 20 Million Leagues Over the Sea, and it is a mishmash sequel to War of the Worlds and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So we've got a little bit of Nemo and a little bit of Martians in there. It takes place about 20 years after the end of War of the Worlds and tries to answer the question, what did we do with all that technology that the Martians left around after they died at the end of War of the Worlds? So in this particular case, lots of people have tried to answer that question in their own books. My particular answer is we built a ship combining their technology with a little bit of the Nautilus and went to Mars.
And exacted some revenge.
Yes. So the first book is about the trip to Mars. The second book, The Mysterious Planet of Captain Moreau, is about what happens on Mars. And I am currently in the throes of writing The Invisible Woman, which is book 3.
Okay. And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you.
That's a little bit more about HallowCon, a little bit about one of our guests. We'll have more guests as the shows go on. Our next show will be in 2 weeks on July 5th.
And I'm going to remember that it's 2 weeks this time.
Yes. And in August, late August, we're going to start rolling to every week just to touch base with everybody with all the new updates and all that. And with that, I'm going to say, ask all of you, please, it's time to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.